Welcome to the Wednesday, April 8th, 2020 meeting of the Longmeadow School Committee. Per Governor Baker's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A, Section 20, the public will not be allowed to physically access this school committee meeting. The school committee will be hosted using the Zoom platform and is being live streamed on Channel 12 of LCTV. A recording of the meeting will also be posted as soon as possible after the meeting. Tonight, we are going to go directly into executive session under Article 12 of the agenda. There is a motion for that. Would somebody like to make a motion?
I got it.
Okay.
I move that the school committee meet in executive session pursuant to MGLC 30A Section 21A, purpose to conduct a strategy session in preparation with collective bargaining units, all non-union staff to reconvene in open session.
This motion, I have to repeat the reason. The school committee will be meeting in executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Subsection 21, Purpose A, 2, to conduct a strategy session in preparation with collective bargaining with all units and non-union staff to reconvene into open session. Is there any discussion on this? Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Motion second. Once again, any further discussion?
Yeah, I want to know, Kathy, do you need to be told when to come back?
No, I can, yeah. Could you text me, or do you want me to just, what do you want me to do?
Yep, if you can log out, and then we'll text you that we're back in.
Toodles.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, any further discussion?
Armin, you're gonna leave too, Armin Asen.
Yep, I'm heading out.
Okay, and then I'll send you an email.
Sounds good.
All right. I got a lot of work to do. I'll have to go get my phone.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, call for roll calls. I was going to say Santino. Gianna?
Aye.
Bronwyn?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Susie?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
We're now in executive session.
2, 1.
Welcome back to the regular session of the April 8th, 2020 Longmeadow School Committee, having exited from executive session. I would, under new business, entertain the first motion.
Move that the school committee approve the memorandum of agreement with units A, B, C, D, E, F, and H regarding working on April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, originally part of April vacation, and authorize the chair to sign the memorandum of agreement.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Marty, would you care to give us information?
Sure. So the memorandum of agreement that is in front of the committee today takes advantage of an option that became available to us late Friday afternoon, this past Friday. And that particular option gives local communities the option to work through any number of days during the April vacation period and have those count towards student time on learning requirements from the Massachusetts Department of Education. And so the MOU in front of the committee proposes that remote teaching continue on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of April vacation. And so the rationale behind this is sort of there's a few different reasons that we proposed and recommended this MOU. Number one, right now, with no adjustment, we would be getting out of school on Wednesday, June 24th. That is, by comparison to local districts, fairly late in the year. Originally, when the school committee approved the calendar for the 1920 school year, we were scheduled to get out on Friday the 19th. We had 3 snow days that pushed us to the 24th. This MOU would back us up to having school, the last day of school, on Friday, June 19th. So in that sense, I think it's helpful. If social restrictions are eased, I suspect that there will be many families and students and teachers that will want to explore other options at that point in the school year. The other thing that this does is, rather than capturing every day during the vacation week, it only captures 3 of those for teaching. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It would still set aside Monday the 20th and Friday the 24th as days when school is not in session. And so when you combine that with the day off that teachers and students will have on Friday, April 10th, we think that there's sufficient sort of time for families and teachers and students to catch their breath and have a day without instruction. But I think instructing through 3 of the days of April vacation, that it permits us to maintain connections with kids. It allows us to build on the momentum that we think is growing with remote learning. So we understand that there's a range of opinions on this. I think, frankly, if this arrangement, doesn't make sense for a family, we recognize that, we respect that, and we would encourage teachers to be mindful of that. So we think it strikes a balance between providing some momentum for instruction, but also giving families some time to catch their breath.
We have Kathy here. Kathy, do you want to give any input, or are you okay with the MOU standing on its own?
The LEA Executive Board has agreed to this wholeheartedly. We had some discussion about it, whether Tuesday to Thursday, Wednesday through Friday, and we feel giving the balance and leaving the bookend, for lack of a better term, 3-day weekends was probably a good balance. And we also recognize that if we were to be out for the rest of the year, then the participation rate may drastically reduce, and diminish and get less. So we think that this is a good idea.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, I'll open up the floor for any debate. Ryan.
I think it's a good sign that the LEA voted for it to be in favor of this. The biggest thing for me is the idea that the kids are finally going to be released from this containment that they've been in for so long in June, and the fewer responsibilities they have at that time, the better. Right now, they have a little bit of structure. I know that at my school, my teachers have become more adept at this, and everything's going much more smoothly, and they're working with students a lot better. So I like that momentum and the idea of us getting out in Longmeadow a week earlier. It'll feel like a week earlier because it'll be on a Friday. Makes a ton of sense.
Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a tough decision. It's a tough issue. I really appreciate the leadership of the LEA and of the administrative team trying to come up with a solution that I think is a really good compromise. I feel like we do have some good momentum going. I think it would be tough to take a week off in the middle of teachers and students getting used to the new situation. I think we don't know what's going to happen in May, but I think the idea of using 3 days in April as opposed to 3 days at the end of June, I just think for student learning, it really makes a lot of sense to do this based on the information we have right now.
Further discussion? Gianna?
Yeah, I just wanted to also say, totally respect and appreciate the LEA and Kathy and your leadership and everybody else who's been offering, and sharing opinions on this. I 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, plug through it and keep up the momentum. I've just as a parent myself and as an educator, and this week just hearing some of the exhaustion concerns and the social emotional concerns. My fear is that if we do it this way, that break isn't going to be fluid enough to give people time to breathe and regroup. Although I am hearing, it is a good balance, and I am hearing too that the messaging will be, to help ensure that students and families understand, do what's best for your family during those couple of days that work will continue. My concern again is just social emotional wellness, because if we are in quarantine past that May 4th deadline, that's a long time for us to just keep going with the rigor and speaking of the rigor, the teachers, the staff, everybody has been amazing in what you've been doing and the curriculum you're creating and the platforms and the use of all that. But that's only going to get stronger, and the expectations are just going to continue to increase, which is great because some people wanted that, but it's also going to mean that, some of our students, some of our teachers, the students, especially with anxiety or different factors. So that's it.
Nice. Ryan?
Yeah, I just want to jump on the last point Jana just made. I think one thing that I found with my teachers is that they're also becoming more adept at differentiating through this environment, and they've never been asked to do that before. So they are aware of the different needs of their student groups, and now they're becoming much stronger at helping those kids out in different ways. So although they are becoming more adept at it overall, and it could get harder, they are also becoming better at teaching our special education students. So I think those people are going to see that the kids are going to have it better off than they've had it at the start.
Armin, I'd like your perspective.
Sure. So I think teaching and working through April vacation is a good call, especially considering that, nothing's really going on right now for students. So the whole notion of having a break is kind of just not there. So yeah, I think working through break is a good call.
Further discussion.
I'll just add, thank you thank you, Armin. I think we do forget that life literally has, as we knew it, has stopped. And our the one thing kids have as like a connection to the outside world, whether it's through friends and maybe some online stuff, but being connected with their teachers is critical at this time, because it's that opportunity to engage, it's that opportunity to connect with classroom. And I agree. I think the momentum and the connection, I think that connection piece is, we've always made it, that's the priority, right? Like maintaining those relationships with teachers, and you see it in what the teachers are sharing with the kids. They miss them so much. They say it every day, especially at the elementary level. That's what I see. So I think that opportunity for school to be life right now for kids is really critical. I like the idea of the 3-day weekend. Thank you. For a few, because that does at least give some reprieve. I think as long as parents feel the support that if they make the choice to kind of step away, that their student's not going to be penalized for it. I think as long as we are clear about that, I'm completely in support of that. And you've already made that pretty well, known. That students can handle what they can handle. Every message that's come through has been about, we don't want your students to get to a point of frustration. So, have them walk away, have them do a brain break, have them work, separate for a minute. And those have been great messages for us as parents too, because we don't want our kids to really, be crazed under this as well, because it is their connection to the outside world.
Onward.
I'm all set.
All set. Anybody else? I just want to say that I know these are, I echo you, Susie, these are unprecedented times. Like I was joking with Marty today about, how he's just pulling all this out of the superintendent's handbook that has all the answers in it for him. And we all know that's not true. And we started this year with, I think, goals of becoming more engaged with the administration and the leadership. And, we started out with a retreat to make that happen, and trying to build the relationship with the LEA. And I got to say, there is no group of people I'd rather go through this with right now than the group that is surrounding us here today. Everybody brings their perspective, which I think is good to the table. It's not all agreement. We check ourselves, we check one another, and I think that's in the best interest of the public. I wish the timelines would allow us to give us more time to be able to, fully flesh out what's going to happen down it. I have data on, what the outcomes are going to be in 6, 8, 12 weeks from now. And unfortunately, we're living in times where we don't have that. But I do trust that we have the leadership to get this done. So I appreciate Marty working with the LEA. We appreciate everything that the teachers have done, are doing, continue to do, and all the other bargaining units as well. I think the greatest thing for me here is, I think it's the momentum perspective. Students are learning to learn in a new way. Teachers are learning to teach in a new way. And to not at least take 2 or 3 days during that week, I think would set us back a little bit. And I think we should keep that momentum going. So that's my perspective. Are there any final comments out there? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. Since we're on video, it has to be a roll call vote. Kevin Shea.
Yeah.
Ryan Kelly.
Yes.
Susie Bell.
Yeah.
Bronwyn.
Same.
Sorry, I think you broke up. Abstain?
Yeah.
Okay. Jamie.
Yes.
Jana.
No.
Armin, yes. The motion passes. And I appreciate the input, and I appreciate everybody looking out for the best well-being of all the students. That I know this was not an easy discussion or vote. So we have another motion on the table.
I move that the school committee authorize that for the pay period ending Friday, April 10th, 2020, the district pay all current employees not on leave that portion of their base pay and the portion of any annual stipend to which they are entitled, consistent with the effective collective bargaining agreement or individual contract of employment, or in the case of unrepresented at-will employees, pay them the same amount as they were paid for the previous period.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Tom, can you give a briefing?
Sure. So similar to our discussion 2 weeks ago, we're looking for authorization to continue paying staff during this time based on the new realities of what their current jobs look like compared to what they normally would be under normal circumstances. So I think it's a pay period by pay period review where we'll come to you looking for your authorization and bringing any changes that might occur from the previous pay period.
And this is mirroring what the town side is doing for now, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Are there any further discussion? Seeing none, a call for a vote. We're going to roll call. Kevin?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Susie?
Yes.
Bronwyn?
Yes.
Gianna?
Yes.
Armand, yes.
Jamie?
Oh, sorry, Jamie. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. All right. So it's 7-0. Thank you. I know we're going to continue to get updates on this motion. People, if people are watching the meetings or watching the recordings, they will see that this is something we discussed at our last meeting and pushed it out 2 weeks. We pushed this one out 2 weeks. We understand the difficult times that many people in our community are going through and are very respectful of what's happening in the community during this time. And we'll continue to try and be the best stewards we can for the school system financially and for the children during this time. So we'll continue to review this as we go forward. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Susie, motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, and I will do roll call vote. Kevin?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Bronwyn?
Yes.
Susie?
Yes.
Gianna?
Yes.
Armin, yes. We are now adjourned until our meeting next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. Channel 12.